I'm motivated, you know. It's a big fight, it's a big challenge, he's a dangerous opponent, so I couldn't really be more motivated. But obviously, yeah, the dream would be obviously to get the finish over Islam and then back it up, big pay-per-view in Perth against one of the another top challenger.
Finishing this one?
I'm going to go for it, you know. I would love, obviously, that'd be the best case scenario, get the finish. I can see it happening. I can see it blowing the roof off MSC, taking out pound one, number one.
Jack Della Maddalena has warned Islam Makhachev ahead of their rematch and is looking confident to finish the former lightweight champ at UFC 322. Jack Della Maddalena admits it is hard to predict exactly what Islam Makhachev will do, but he feels the fight will open on the feet before transitioning elsewhere. He expects Makhachev to mix things up, likely pushing for wrestling exchanges early. Looking back at Belal Muhammad's fight, Jack thinks Makhachev probably noticed that Belal's mistake was not engaging in wrestling soon enough, so he anticipates grappling to come into play as early as the first round.
Do you expect Islam to try and strike with you, or do you think that his game plan might try and take you down?
It's hard to expect anything, you know. I definitely feel like he will test the feet, you know. I think it's going to start on the feet and we'll go from there. But yeah, I think he's going to try and mix it up. I think he's going to probably try and get on the wrestling early, I'd imagine. Looking back on the Belal fight, he probably sees that Belal's mistake was maybe not getting on the wrestling early. So yeah, I expect in the first round we'll get into some, at least some grappling exchanges, you know.
Jack Della Maddalena views Islam Makhachev as a completely different challenge, despite some overlaps in their grappling styles. He sees Makhachev as more dangerous due to his stronger finishing ability and the power he brings to the feet. For Jack, that combination makes the fight more intriguing and motivates him to prepare for a unique test rather than just another opponent.
His grappling's a bit better than Belal's, but he gets hit a lot more than Belal does. Does that give you confidence that you're going to be able to tag him a few times?
I mean, definitely, they're different fighters, different challenges. So yeah, obviously there's some similarities within like the grappling style, but yeah, I definitely look at Islam as a completely different challenge, different, more of a finishing ability, more powerful on the feet. So yeah, different challenge, and I'm excited for it.
Jack Della Maddalena reflects on Islam Makhachev moving up to welterweight, noting that while weight cuts can sometimes slow a fighter down, he doesn't see that being the case here. Instead, he expects Makhachev to be more filled out and stronger at 170, predicting this version could be the best Islam yet. Jack believes the higher weight class may actually benefit Makhachev rather than hinder him.
He's going to come up in weight, it's your weight class. Do you feel like that's going to slow him down a little bit?
It's hard to tell. Sometimes the weight cut will slow you down. So I expect the best Islam. I expect more filled out, stronger. I feel like it's going to be the best Islam Makhachev has been. So yeah, I think the weight will probably be better for him, you know.
On the other hand, Islam Makhachev expresses excitement for his upcoming fight and shares that his training camp is already underway and going smoothly. He recognizes Jack Della Maddalena as a legitimate threat, emphasizing that every UFC champion carries danger. Makhachev stresses that he's fully focused on preparation and expects to be in top form by mid-November when they meet for the welterweight title.
Хабиб анонсировал твой бой против Маддалены за титул в полусреднем весе. И расскажи, как проходит твоя подготовка и видишь ли ты опасность в нем?
Подготовка проходит хорошо, только начали. Как раз только говорил, что на сборах были 3 недели, приехали. Опасность, конечно, если человек чемпион на какой-то вес, особенно у нас в организации, там таких проходных не бывает. Так что подхожу с максимальной ответственностью к этому бою и думаю, буду к середине ноября в хорошей форме.
Islam Makhachev also considers Jack Della Maddalena a tough challenge after watching his strong performance against Belal Muhammad. He recalls Jack's earlier difficulties with wrestling, but acknowledges the improvements he has made through training with elite grapplers. Makhachev describes Jack as a dangerous championship-caliber fighter, yet maintains that their clash will ultimately determine who truly stands at the top of the sport.
What do you think he's going to be a hard fight for you? I know he said he wants to get one back for Alexander Volkanovski here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard fight. Honestly, it's gonna be. I saw his fight against Bilal. He's good, man. He is good. When he beginning fighting in UFC, he had problem with the wrestling, but now he's improved because I see he training a lot with the wrestlers, with the grapplers, and that's why he's a champion right now, and he's good everywhere. But we will see who is the best fighter in the world.
Yeah,
Very soon,
yeah.
and it's going very quick.
However, Jack Della Maddalena claims that he's ready to defend his title against Islam Makhachev at UFC 322. He shocks fans by suggesting Belal Muhammad's striking is sharper than Islam's and predicts he can handle Makhachev without much difficulty. Jack points out that Islam's traditional stance makes him easier to raid, though he still respects him as the current pound-for-pound number one.
I mean, it's just, I think Islam Makhachev is a better version of Belal. I think his striking on the feet is, I think it's more, it's easier, the striking on the feet, I think it's easier than Belal, because he's more just, he'll stay in one stance, he's more traditional style. But yeah, he's the pound for pound number one, so it's a tough fight, but I guess we'll just watch all his fights again, make a solid game plan, and then just start working at it. From pretty much now, I'm going to start working on ways to beat him, different ways to get back to my feet, stuff in the takedown, but I'm pretty confident I can get this one done.
Islam Makhachev's coach, Javier Mendez, responds to Jack Della Maddalena's comments with a warning not to underestimate Islam's striking. He stresses that no opponent has ever found Islam easy to handle on the feet, and if Jack thinks differently, he will face a harsh reality check. Mendez highlights that once fighters step inside the cage, Islam's skills feel very different from how they may look from the outside.
JDM did an interview I think this week, and he broke down that he believes Islam's stand-up is a little bit easier to deal with than Bilal's, because Islam has more of a traditional style for his stand-up. Do you feel like people are kind of missing some of the X factors that Islam brings with his striking?
If he's saying that, I hope that he goes in believing that, because when he gets in there with Islam, you're going to find out a whole different story, because I'm sorry, they're completely different. And by no means is Islam an easy for anybody on the stand-up. Any MMA fighter that's a striker, that's not going to have an easy time with him. I've been with this kid like going on 11 years of watching him just destroy everybody on the stand-up. Guys that are much better stand-up than him, and he still destroys them. So no. Don't go by what you see. When you get in there with that man, it's a whole different ballgame.
Meanwhile, Dan Hooker weighs in on Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena, expressing confidence that the UFC deliberately pushed for this stylistic matchup. He believes Makhachev's team must have spotted something, but admits it is a still huge step up for Jack. Hooker points out that Jack is a big, strong fighter, and while Islam has a chance, he feels the fight tilts in Della Maddalena's favor.
Pretty confident stylistically with that Jack Della fight, they've kind of gone out of their way to chase that fight down. So they obviously see something. I feel like it would be close, but yeah, that's a big step up. Jack Della's a pretty big boy.
Do you think Islam can get past him?
He's obviously got I feel like he's got a chance, but I feel like that fight leans towards Jack Della.
Johnny Walker also shares his thoughts on Islam Makhachev moving up to 170 to fight Jack Della Maddalena for the title. He praises Islam for being tough and technically skilled throughout his career and believes he still has what it takes to succeed. Walker acknowledges that moving to a new division brings fresh challenges, including stronger opponents and higher power levels, but he feels Islam can handle them and perform well.
He's going to be moving up to 170 from 155 to fight JDM for that title. Who do you favor in that fight?
I think Islam. Yeah, he's been a really tough fight and incredible technique for the last all his career, no? And I believe he still can get it. But as I said, it's a new division, new body type, new power, everything. It's moving up. It's a big testing for him, but I believe he can do good too.
Former lightweight champion Charles Oliveira sees Jack Della Maddalena as a major threat because of his patient approach, highlighting how he methodically wore down Belal Muhammad instead of forcing a finish. At the same time, he expects Islam Makhachev to benefit from moving up in weight, believing the added strength will boost his grappling. For Oliveira, the fight comes down to whether Jack can keep the fight standing long enough to showcase his striking, or if Islam's control on the ground will decide it.
O que você acha que ganha entre o Jack Della Maddalena e o Islam? Maddalena, ele é jogo muito complicado, porque ele é cara que ele não vem pra te nocautear rápido, ele vem pra te, ele vem te matar. magoando, né?
Aos poucos, né?
Aos poucos. Foi o que ele fez agora na luta contra o Bilal. Só que eu acho que o Isa vai se dar muito bem nessa categoria, né, mano? Agora vai estar muito mais forte. É um jogo que, tipo, ele gosta de agarrar e botar pra baixo. Eu acho que o Jack Madalena for fazer a mesma luta que ele fez, né? Agora contra o Bilal, batendo, movimentando, saindo, machucando, é uma luta. Mas se deixar o Isa agarrar e botar pra baixo, é o time.
On the other hand, Daniel Cormier pointed out that Islam Makhachev's striking is often overlooked, reminding fans that Islam outperformed Dustin Poirier on the feet for nearly 5 rounds before finishing him. Yet most of the attention went to Poirier. He explained that Islam's dominance is easy to miss because he makes elite fighting look effortless. Still, Cormier emphasized that the real test awaits at welterweight, where Makhachev will face opponents closer to his own size.
Islam. He's a much better striker than people give him credit for. He won all the rounds against Dustin Poirier in a fight that was pretty much all striking. Everybody's like, well, Dustin Poirier fought him so well. But he didn't. It was literally 5 rounds to 0 and he got submitted.
It's almost like Poirier got his licks, but he got dominated.
He got beat. Because Islam's been so good, people judge him differently. I think there are way more interesting fights for him at 170 because of the size difference than there is at 155. Because right now, when was the last time he had to finish someone? He finished Charles for the belt.
Volk.
He fought Volk. That was close.
Him.
Didn't finish him. And the second time
Volk.
he finished Volk.
Second time, finished Moicano.
Finished Moicano. Finished Dustin Poirier. He beats them all because they're too small.
Similarly, Joe Rogan stressed that Islam Makhachev's striking is developed into a real danger rather than just a setup for his grappling. He highlighted the knockout of Alexander Volkanovski as proof of Islam's precision and high fight IQ. Rogan also questioned the decision to accept a rematch with him on short notice, warning that stepping in against someone with Islam's timing and technical ability without proper preparation is a huge risk.
He's a threat everywhere. Like when he knocked out Volk with that high kick.
Yeah,
and
that was
crazy. But granted, if I was in Volk's corner, I would say, no,
I know.
You're not taking it. You've been fucking drinking beer and eating kebabs. Like there's no way you're taking this fight on 10 days notice. I don't care how confident you are. I don't care how much you like fighting. That's a crazy thing. I don't care how much money they're paying you, because you look at the slide that his career took, right? He arguably won that first fight with Islam. Very close fight, loses a decision. Or was it a draw?
It was a decision. Shit, was it a draw? That's actually a good question.
On the other hand, Jack Della Maddalena's coach Ben Vickers expressed complete confidence ahead of UFC 322, arguing that Islam Makhachev won't be able to withstand Jack's power. He said, unlike Bilal Muhammad, Islam lacks the same durability, and one clean shot from Jack could finish the fight instantly, whether in the opening exchange or late into the rounds. Vickers emphasized Jack's combination of knockout power and cardio, making him dangerous at every moment of the fight.
I just don't think Islam has the chin that Bilal has.
You feel like it's a situation where this is going to be an eventual down the line, like 3rd, 4th round? Or do you think people might even be shocked to see it happen earlier on?
We know for a fact if Jack clips someone clean on the chin, they can go over. So it could happen in the first minute. It could happen in the 24th minute. It could happen in the 24 minute, 59 seconds. It could happen 3 rounds in. Jack likes long fights. You know, he likes to be in there. But obviously we're not getting paid for overtime. So if the opportunity arises, we're happy to take it. But Jack's cardio, as we saw, Bilal's reputedly the best cardio in the UFC, and Jack out cardioed him. Bilal was more tired than Jack towards the end of the fight. So you know, Jack's cardio is exceptional, his power is exceptional, and yeah, I like the fight. I really do.
Ben Vickers said he doesn't see Islam Makhachev fighting recklessly, noting that Islam is far too composed and skilled for that approach. However, he expects Islam to close the distance quickly and impose his grappling to wear Jack down. Vickers explained that spending too much time striking with Jack puts Islam in the same danger Bilal Muhammad faced, his knockout power. For that reason, he anticipates Islam will avoid long stand-up exchanges and drag the fight into his own domain as early as possible.
Well, I was going to ask you, do you think it's straight away shooting in, establishing his wrestling, getting JDM up against the fence, or do you think he goes out there and actually tries to test his striking against you guys?
No, I don't think he's going to go out and try and test his striking, but I also don't think he's going to rush. You know what I mean? He's a very composed guy. He's a very high-level, skillful person. You know, he's not going to rush and be running at Jack's hips. You know, but he is going to try and get hold of Jack as quickly as possible, even if it's just to try and tire him out in the early parts of the fight and get him into his world quickly. He will take damage from Jack as Bilal did if he's on the feet. So I'm sure he's going to not want to be there for as long as possible.
Stephen Thompson also weighed in on the matchup by noting that Islam Makhachev had the tools to win, but nothing was certain. He explained that the outcome would come down to who executed their game plan better on fight night, and when pushed for a prediction, Thompson leaned slightly toward Jack Della Maddalena.
I mean, I think he could. He can. He can win this fight. It's not a for sure thing. It's not one of those like on paper, oh, he's going to just beat him. No. He can win it. It all depends on who shows up and who sticks to their game plan.
Okay, but if you had to give a lean, if you had to pick someone, who would you pick?
I'm going to go for JDM.
However, Colby Covington sided with Islam Makhachev in the upcoming clash against Jack Della Maddalena. He acknowledged that Islam is naturally a smaller fighter at welterweight, but praised his well-rounded skill set. Colby explained that if Islam secures takedowns and controls Jack on the ground, he has a clear path to victory. While he admitted the size factor makes the matchup interesting, he ultimately leaned toward Makhachev as the favorite.
Islam versus JDM. What do you make of that? Islam moving up to now welterweight.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. I'm excited to see how it goes. You know, Islam, is a lightweight. He's going to be a little smaller in the fight, but he's a well-rounded fighter. So, if he's able to take down JDM and control him, he could definitely get the job done. But it's going to be interesting to see how the size advantage plays a difference in the fight.
Who do you favor?
I mean, I seen the odds were pretty big. They favored Makhachev like 3-1. So I guess I got to go with the odds if they're going 3-1. But just because JDM doesn't have good takedown defense, but you never know. It's a fight, and JDM has some good hands, so it should be an exciting fight for the fans.
Similarly, Elijah Smith favors Islam Makhachev in the matchup, noting that Belal Muhammad struggled against Jack Della Maddalena by overcommitting to striking instead of using his strengths. He believes Islam won't make the same mistake as he confidently mixes his grappling with striking in a style reminiscent of Khabib Nurmagomedov. Smith added that while styles make fights, Islam's balanced approach gives him the advantage.
I want to say Islam, and the reason why I say Islam is because I feel like Belal, he went out there when he fought Jack, and he went out there trying to prove the fans that he can strike, which I think that kind of hurt him. I feel like if Belal went out there and did what he did to what's his name, Leon Edwards, I think he probably would have had a better chance of getting the win. But it seemed like he just wanted to show people that he had with Canelo hands, which sometimes you don't need to prove anybody anything. You're the champion. You don't have to prove anything to somebody who's trying to take your spot. You just got to go out there and fight your game. If they stop it, then we move on to something different. But I think Islam is that type of guy where he's not going to be scared to take you down or shoot repetitively, almost in that Khabib-esque type of feel. But I guess we'll see. You know what they say, styles make fights.
Greg Jones also weighed in on the Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena matchup, describing it as a challenging fight for Islam. He highlighted that Jack's unique style could pose unexpected problems and that physical differences between the fighters might play a bigger role than anticipated. Jones also suggested that the outcome could influence Islam's future choices in the welterweight division.
How do you think the fight against Islam goes? I think it's a super difficult fight. Obviously, he's faced Volk twice, so the first one very competitive. And now we're facing a guy that's best scrambling ability, period, in all of MMA. I think that's what Belal struggled with. So I think the size difference is going to be quite a lot than people think. And we've seen how Volk did on the ground, how much Islam struggled with him. Jack beats Islam, puts Islam in a difficult position. Does he now go back down to fight Ilya after he loses?
Meanwhile, Islam Dulatov believes this matchup shouldn't be underestimated, emphasizing that although Makhachev possesses the skills to win, the fight will be far from easy. He pointed out Jack Della Maddalena's striking ability and natural size at 170 pounds as significant challenges, noting that Makhachev will need a precise game plan and top-tier grappling to come out on top.
I think a lot of people think that it's going to be an easy fight for Islam, but I don't think that it's going to be that easy. I think Islam going to win, but I don't think it's going to be an easy fight for him, like everybody thinks, because Islam is maybe big for lightweight, but he's not big for welterweight.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's why I would say, like, I don't know, he don't look for me so big.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's just on pictures or whatever, but actually, you know, I think JDM has a lot more of weight than him. But at the end of the day, I think JDM has better striking, and Islam has for sure the better ground game. And I think
if I said you had to choose one fighter to win that one, who would you choose?
Islam.
Really, Islam? You're just saying how he wasn't big enough.
Yeah, but I say he will win this.
Oh, you really?
I think he gonna win this for sure.
Oh, for sure.
You know, like I'm very sure that he gonna win this.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be not an easy fight.
Eric Anders expressed support for Islam Makhachev, highlighting that while he respects Jack Della Maddalena's striking and boxing, Islam's wrestling gives him the clear advantage. Anders noted that unlike Belal Muhammad, Makhachev will aggressively pursue takedowns rather than trading strikes, a strategy he believes will ultimately secure the victory for the lightweight champion.
I'm gonna go Islam. I really like Jack. I think he's like a superb fighter, you know, especially with his boxing and whatnot. He could catch Islam, but yeah, you know, he's clearly a much better wrestler than Belal, and will actively seek the takedowns instead of just trying to stand and bang with them. So I think that Islam will get him.
On the contrary, bantamweight Davy Grant favors Jack Della Maddalena a win, citing the size difference as a key factor. While recognizing that Islam Makhachev is already a large lightweight, Grant believes the jump to 170 pounds still gives Jack a noticeable advantage.
Oh, you know what it is? I'm gonna go with Jack. I think the size might be a bit of an issue. I know Makhachev's obviously a big guy, very big for lightweight as well, but I feel like it's a big jump to 55 to 70.
And that wraps up today's video. What are your thoughts on this epic showdown between JDM and Islam? Drop your predictions in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and don't forget to explore our other videos for more exciting MMA content.